right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all the I'd like to give all the honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostle, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayath Dawada, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. Excuse me. So, this evening's lesson is entitled, Get Out of Your Head. Okay? Get out of your head. Okay? I say this because, being inside your own mind, man, as one of the scriptures I'm about to pull out, just roughly paraphrasing it, the heart is desperately wicked. Who can know it? Okay? Being in this captivity, being in this flesh, our heads is a mess as it is. It's wicked thoughts, temptations, irrational thoughts, things that don't make sense, things that bug you, but ultimately this is all a demon. Demons plague us every day. Not only do they plague the people of the world, but they especially plague us because, we're fighting for righteousness. We're fighting to get back in order. So as we get closer to the end of this, these demons are going to intensify. They're going to get more and more, as the brother I fellowship with, as he says, new levels, new devils. And each devil that comes with the new level is going to be stronger than the previous one. Okay? That's why we ourselves have to level up. All right? This is going to be Isaiah chapter 52, verse 1. It says, Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city, for henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Okay? Verse 2, Shake thyself from the dust, arise, and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. Okay? So again, man, get out of your head. Okay? Yes, this captivity has, mentally and emotionally fucked us up. But you cannot let that bring you down. Okay? You got to get out of your head. Okay? Because, every brother in this ministry, they go through things in life, according to their life, what they're feeling, what they're thinking. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's all a demon. Okay? You may one day wake up feeling cranky, upset, or just irritated, and you don't know why. What for? You just don't want to deal with people, or whatever the case. Or, you could be having thoughts of someone from your past. They could have done something to you and it's just bugging you. Just like, man, I want to get back at that person. I understand that we all want to get our lick back at these people for all that they've done. But, you got to focus on the fact that as long as we hold on to this truth, we got the victory over them. In fact, we're ahead of the game. We're further ahead in this life than they are. Really, because we got Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Now, Slakia, let me go back to, Slakia. Give me a second. So let me read this again. Isaiah 52:2. It says, "Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion." So, you know, if you can be a slave to your own thoughts. Okay? You really can be. Excuse me. That's why it says right here, Jeremiah 17:9. It says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" Okay? Your mind can play games with you, man. You can talk yourself out of things. You could psych yourself out. That's where the main battle begins. It all begins up here. You know, before the physical, this is where, up here, this is where the fight begins. You know, everybody in the world, they're going through, they're dealing with inner demons. They're dealing with inner struggles, inner wars. Especially the people especially us, you know, the sincere believers that are in the truth. And this is verse 10. "I, Yahweh, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings." So, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is the one that examines the secret motives. You cannot hide anything from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? He's the one that, you know, that searches out your heart. And he gives excuse me. And he rewards those according to their deeds, man. You know, you being in this ministry, you have to have a sincere heart and do what is required. Okay? And he'll reward you according to your doings, man. That's how it works. You help another brother out. You help someone that's poor or homeless or just whatever, just a good deed here and there. You know, the Lord sees that. Okay? This is going to be Philippians chapter 4, verse 6. "Be careful for nothing." In fact, actually, I'm going to read Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 through 8 in the NLT. Verse 6, it says, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell the power what you need and thank him for all that he has done." Verse 7, "Then you will experience the power's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Hamashiach Yahushai." So there you go, man. Prayer. If you're having one of those mental or emotional episodes, man, just pray. Because that's ultimately a demon that's messing with your head. And you know, another thing too, you know, do some physical exercise, like do some calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, something. Or go to the gym, you know, box a little bit. You know, that stuff right there, that exercises demons. You know, getting physically active, you know, working out, exercising, training. Verse 8, "And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise." So even though we go through our mental and emotional irregularities because, you know, this captivity and, you know, this flesh, you know, it's a constant fight to think about what is right, because we're constantly fighting against this flesh. This flesh wants to go against what the Spirit wants to do. All right. Now this is going to be Ecclesiasticus. It's going to be chapter 30. Verse 21. It says, "Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. Okay? So, give not thy mind over to heaviness, man. Whatever, whatever is bugging you mentally or emotionally, just stop stressing, stop worrying about it. If something's out of your control, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay? And afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. So don't, as they say, don't answer your own questions, because that makes you crazy. There are people that talk to themselves and it helps them think, or whatever the case, but don't just basically don't psych yourself out. Don't let your mind play games with you. Okay, if you make a decision, you think it through, okay, but don't get psyched out or talk yourself out of it, unless it's something that that is going to affect you. Verse 22, the gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So having a positive attitude and a positive outlook on things. We should be in a positive mindset, because look, man, we're almost out of here. We're beginning to see the downfall of our enemies. We're beginning to see America, aka Babylon, crumble bit by bit, day by day, week by week, month by month. It's only a matter of time. Verse 23, love thine own soul. Okay? Make peace with yourself and who you are. And comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee. So remove all that negativity from you, because all that's going to do is make you bitter inside. And more demons are going to jump on you. And then they're going to start, messing with your head. And it's going to lead to irrational thoughts, actions led by emotions rather than logic. And you know how that goes. And it says, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. So stress, negativity, giving off bad vibes, man, that shortens your lifespan, really. And it says here in verse 24, envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time. So envy, jealousy, wrath, anger, rage, shorten the life, man. Those negative emotions, that negative energy, man, it takes a toll on your body. And speaking from experience, I used to be someone who was angry and used to hold grudges. And trust me, I used to be very, very spiteful. But I learned, before I came into I learned on my own that being like that, man, I'm only hurting myself. I'm not hurting anybody else but me. I just gotta learn to just let that shit go. Okay, verse 25, a cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. So, a cheerful and good heart will, having a good diet, eating right, that also affects your mood. You are what you eat, as they say. All right, now get Proverbs, close out here. Oh, and before, go to Proverbs. Let's see. Proverbs 17 and 22. It says, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. So, Like I said, being in good spirits, man. Being in good mood. You know, that's good for your mind and body. It gives off positive vibes. But when you're in that, you know, in a low state of mind, a negative state of mind, that drains your life away. Okay? So, you know, you gotta, ultimately, you know, you gotta learn to just, like I said, you gotta get out of your head. You gotta get out of your head, man. Now, let me see. That's all I had for that. So, you know, hopefully this lesson was edifying, because you can't, excuse me. You know, like I said, man, your mind is your greatest weapon. But at the same time, you know, and that's why you got to be careful in how you use it, because, like I said, your mind can play games on you. Or if you're someone who's, how could I put it, like I wouldn't say a weak-minded individual, but someone who has an undisciplined mind. If you allow other people to get inside your head and live in your head rent-free, you know, I mean, ultimately that's on you. But you can overcome that. But, you know, you can't let someone leave a mental scar in your head like that. You know, I used to be one of those people. It's gotta, like I said, just gotta let it go. Because that person is probably living their life. They probably forgot all about you. You know, who gives a shit? If they forgot about you, you can forget about them. Okay? So, you know, this wasn't meant to be a long lesson. It was just a quick hit on, you know, just like stay out of your head, like, because your own mind can be a prison, and it could be the worst prison. And with that, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or HaKodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching His word with 100% truth and sincerity. And to the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And to the Bayath and Dawada, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom, Barakatham. And remember, they said the best revenge is no revenge. Why? Because vengeance belongeth unto the Lord. He shall repay. Shalom.